big question is whether the government should start rolling back some of the cooling measures, property cooling measures. I'm not saying they should roll back everything. The question is, should they start one by one, and in what sequence should they proceed? So, Swee Yong, I think you're the property man here. Maybe you can tell us what you think.
At the beginning, the few sledgehammer policies were, I feel, were not well and fully considered.
Which sledgehammer policies are these?
Additional buyer stamp duty, and then the most recent big sledgehammer was the total debt servicing ratio, because these policies also hurt people who are not speculators, people who just own one home of their own. They are also constrained by this. Additional buyer stamp duty doesn't account for families who need to upgrade. So if you can buy something and then sell your first home, and then you can do a stamp duty claim, but you still have to pay it first, it is very heavy in terms of cash flow. So some of these things could be tweaked. But looking at how things go, if every quarter property valuations dropped, let's say island-wide by 2%, such that over the course of a year we have about 8 to 10% decline, I think that sort of gradual decrease doesn't hurt the bank's balance sheet, doesn't really hurt families' balance sheet, because over the course of the year we are also paying down the loan. That sort of a stalemate, sideways sort of situation, the government is probably very comfortable with. They wouldn't want to make adjustments if the decline were gradual.
But what if your mortgage rate goes up from 1.5% to 3%?
Yes. So
what happens then?
That is something that they will watch. But the outlook from most of the major banks, if you went to Maybank or DBS today, you could still probably get yourself a 3-year lock-in fixed rate loan at 1.4, 1.6%. So meaning the banks themselves do not foresee that mortgage rates would spike up in 3 years from today. So the government would monitor. If across 2014 and into 2015, the drop were just gradual. But that sort of gradual drop in real estate values, no worry. In fact, it is a very good situation, because every day we are paying down the mortgage, and it means that our balance sheet is healthier and healthier. But come 2016, if the US were to make a significant shift in terms of their interest rate policy, Singapore's interest rates also rise in tandem, then there's space for them to remove a few of the, out of the 9 policy measures, you get about 50 bullet points. You can remove 10 of the bullet points out of the 50 and keep the other 40 in place.
Swee Yong made a very good point. Like some of the policies, as well-intentioned as they were, hit the wrong way. For example, like imposition of additional buyer stamp duty, or the kind of penalizing stamp duties on sale within 4 years. In an upward market, it reinforces the upward spiral in prices, because they just pass it on if the market is ebullient enough. And when it's coming down, then it also reinforces and it accentuates the cycles rather than stretching it out. So one of the things is perhaps to allow the market to adjust and say, that kind of incremental penalty on flipping. As the market is moving lower, maybe we can decrease the penalty. It need not be 16% hit within the first year of having to sell property, because that will also reduce the pain macro-wise, putting aside the individual, macro-wise, the pain on banks' balance sheets, so on and so forth. So some of these measures we can look at it from different perspectives, I suppose.